Welcome to Native Bidaské, Native News Online's weekly spotlight on the people making news and leading change in Indian country.
Welcome to another episode of Native Bidaské. Got my good friend Chance Rush co-hosting this week. Hey, Chance, you've been off for a few weeks now. Where have you been, brother?
Oh my goodness. I've been visiting family up in Oklahoma, a little bit up in North Dakota. Just on some downtime. I actually had a relative the other day told me, I wasn't getting any gigs. And I was like, man, I said, I'm off I wish it was a few weeks, but it's actually a few months. I've been off for like a couple months now. And up until last week, but my good friend said, you know what? Like, you're off because Creator wants you to focus on things that you need to be focusing on. So really quick, some big shout outs real fast. I want to give a big shout out to Seminole Tribe of Florida. They brought me in for the renewable energy and energy summit down in Fort Lauderdale. Then right after that, I turned around and flew out to DC with my main man, Rudy Soto, over at the National American Indian Housing Council. I had a privilege to MC that for a couple of days. And then I'll be going back home, next week to North Dakota, just to kind of, sit down with tribal leadership, sit down with the community and visit family and all that. So grateful to get back at it. And I want to say this, it's overdue, but Happy New Year. We haven't jumped on. This is our first podcast in 2026. So, well, for me and you. So Happy New Year. And I'm excited to rev up this spring, the summer, the fall. We are going to be crazy. We're going to be going everywhere. And I actually want to talk a little bit later on about a really cool MC gig I get to do out in Las Vegas next month. But you tell me, man, how are you doing? How are you holding up, boss?
I'm doing great. And I was in Minneapolis a couple of weeks ago, and I went to the Powwow Grounds coffee shop, and that's the headquarters for the mobile patrols, and they were safeguarding one another against the ICE and Border Patrol. And quite frankly, and you just heard the announcement recently that they're going to pull out of Minneapolis, that surge. So I'm pretty happy about that. But I'll tell you this, Chance, the resilience of that Native community in Minneapolis is just phenomenal. It's just, they had each other's backs. I interviewed a young lady who's a doula, right? And she made sure, she's 8 months pregnant herself, but she was picking up supplies, taking them to young mothers, pregnant mothers, those with newborns, making sure they get formula, diapers, whatever they needed, because they were terrified to go to the grocery store in fear of getting harassed or picked up by ICE. And here's an 8-month pregnant woman doing that, a doula. And to me, that speaks to the strength, the power of who we are as Native people. We always take care of one another. It's how we're taught. From my ancestors taught us that. And so I was really excited. And I just actually got back this week from the National Congress of American Indians.
Yeah. How was that?
In DC. It was good. I went to Capitol Hill. The Senate Committee on Indian Affairs held a hearing on the 88 program. There are some people want to do away with it. And our tribal officials, standing room only, 40 people outside the room, saying, keep it, it's needed. $16 billion a year brings into Indian country. It's not a DEI. And I heard testimony after testimony, including Chief Hoskin from Cherokee Nation, talk about this is not a DEI program. The federal government has trust and treaty responsibilities.
Yes, this is sovereignty.
It's sovereignty. It's all about sovereignty always. But I have to tell you, it was quite the amazing week. So here we are today, and today we have a special guest with us from the National Native American Hall of Fame. And tell me what you know. You've done more work with him than I do, so I'm excited to meet with Francis, who's coming on here momentarily.
First of all, man, I mean, I have the privilege, the honor, and it's very spiritual, but I get to serve as the ambassador for the National Native American Hall of Fame. And let me tell you something, this organization, it's so phenomenal, and it's a blessing. And I would do anything in the world for the National Native American Hall of Fame. Not even because I want to be in it one day, not even because of that, But I'll tell you what, you were talking about how we take care of each other. This organization that I'm a part of, that I proudly represent, they put our powerful indigenous people in the spotlight, on the platform, sharing with the world not only they have accomplished as the individual, but what we have accomplished as indigenous people. I'm talking, everybody from Ron Allen on there, Billy Mills, I mean, Nota Begay, Deb Howland. I mean, so many phenomenal people that are really grounded.
And with us is the president of the National Native American Hall of Fame, Francis Alvarez. Francis, welcome to Native Bidaské. First time you've been on. Hope this is the first of many times you come on, and tell us about all the great things you're doing there at the National Hall of Fame. And welcome to Native Bidaské.
Thank you. Thank you, Levi, for having us. It's an honor to speak about the National Native American Hall of Fame. We're doing some incredible work. To sum it up, we're preserving the legacies of our Native American achievers. We have a purpose. Our mission is to recognize these path makers in Native America and identify and uplift their achievements. Our purpose, though, is to preserve those legacies. And we do that in a number of ways. We have education curriculum that we have out there. We have our annual induction ceremony, and this is where our inductees, their families, and Indian country comes together to lift them up. By the time our inductees get to that stage, they've already been acknowledged and given these accolades from their colleagues in their industry. But what we hear over and over again is there's nothing greater than being honored by your own people. And that's what we're doing at the National Native American Hall of Fame.
And what I really do like it is the educational aspect of it. Our youth really need people to look up to, and with that, tell us, the curriculum is written towards what grade levels, or is it high school, college, or when you say
Yeah.
educational program?
We have a curriculum from grades K to 12th grade. And it's not to replace what's in the history books. It's to add to it. It's to add a voice from our perspective, and to also give our children someone to look up to. We know that representation is key, especially to our youth. So to provide our youth with someone who looks like them, identifies like them, comes from a region or a tribe or a community like they are, it makes a significant difference in how they see themselves
Mhm.
and where they vision their future.
Yeah, and to me, I love what you said. To me, it just gives that person hope.
Yes.
You might be a eighth grader out in Montana on a reservation thinking life isn't worth living, but when you say, well, Billy Mills did what he did, he accomplished that, so can I. And that is a truly a blessing what you guys are doing with that. And we got Chance back with us. Chance, she was just kind of explaining the purpose, the educational part of it. And I see that James Parker Shields, the founder of the National Native American Hall of Fame, has joined us by telephone. James, welcome to Native Bidaské.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well.
I'm glad to be here
Hey,
or there.
tell us about what inspired you to even start the National Native American Hall of Fame.
Well, it all goes back to visibility, which a number of people have talked about over the past decade or so, that natives continue to be almost invisible in America. And I was back home working with my cows. I was retired, and I kept thinking about how come there's no Hall of Fame for Native Americans, because of all these great people over the past decades that have accomplished so much and helped move our people forward. And there should be a place that honors them. And I figured somebody, young, well-connected, and full of energy somebody would do that, but nobody did. So finally, I decided, well, I'll give it a shot.
That's fantastic. And tell us of some of the big names. I say big names, that just tell us
Well,
who's in it. Some of the names that
yeah.
yeah.
Well, we've got, I think a lot of notables, but the one thing that we always try to make clear to people is that it's not about being famous or well known. We have a lot of well-known natives in the Hall of Fame, but we also have some ones that are not household names. Their contributions and achievements are just as important as everybody else in the Hall of Fame. Most notable ones probably like Senator Ben Nighthorse Campbell, who we just lost recently.
Yes.
Emil Noddy, who helped lead the Alaska Native Claims Act battle, aided along with Lucy Covington. Both of them are in the Hall of Fame, were very active in leadership roles fighting termination of tribes. We have LaDonna Harris, Billy Mills, the gold medalist in the Tokyo Olympics. We also have Jim Thorpe, of course, and just a whole host of people. Wes Studi, the actor, Joy Harjo, the 3-time poet laureate for the United States. We got people in the business world. We induct people in 16 different categories.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's why,
yeah, go ahead.
that's why I hesitated when I started the big names, because I caught myself, because truly among Native people, we know that our people are prominent and notable, but it could be that grassroots community leader who's just doing fantastic things. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy to hear you recognize
Yes,
those
exactly.
people as
Not
well.
only that, but yeah. And in my one of my concerns has always been that even the ones that are household names now, 20 or 30 years from now, one of our grandkids is going to say, Ben Nighthorse Campbell who? Ada Deer who? And we
Yes.
can't let their names be forgotten. We can't let their legacy be forgotten. And that's the purpose for the Hall of Fame.
James Earl Francis, there was in the night, oh my gosh, November 1st was one of the greatest nights of my career. That night we were right there in Oklahoma City. Man, that night it was Nota
Yeah.
Begay, it was Deb Hovland, it was Ron Allen.
Yeah.
3 people that I really looked up to and worked
Yeah.
with, and so can you share a little bit about that night? Because that night, I could not go wrong. It was perfect. It was, it was fabulous. So what did that night mean to you all?
Yeah, well, we had, those people, along with a Medal of Honor winner and a couple other notable people. But one of the other things that we added to the program was I felt that, since, I do all of the, pretty much a lot of the legwork, I thought, you run across people that are, making great contributions and may not be Hall of Fame material right now, but they should still be at least pointed out so that people can, nod their heads and respect that what they're doing and what they stand for, and also keep in mind for the Hall of Fame down the road. And so we did that the first time. Of course, I just kind of called it an inspirational award, and then one of my board members, President Francis, said, no, it's got to be the James Parker Shield Award. So we did that first one that night, and we recognized the coach of the
Haskwindon
girls basketball team who had just won a conference championship. And they were the Feds cut off their money, and so he continued coaching for no pay, and went on to coach the girls into a championship team. So I thought that was something that a lot of young people could relate to, and that the coach himself, deserves some sort of recognition. So he was there that night.
Yeah. Hey, thank you, James. I apologize. I know you're cutting out a little bit. I know you're out there, but we can still hear you, so to all of our listeners, just know, man, he's out in the Anadarko. That's why it is why it is. But we'll go here to Francis real quick, and who he was talking about was Coach Adam Strom up there, Yakima Nation representing. I know he's doing a great job at Haskell Nations University. Francis, first of all, I want to thank you. I cannot wait next month, March 23rd, out at the Palms in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. We are having our fundraiser in partnership with NAHARA, National Native American Human Resources Association, also, I believe, with the Tribal Leadership Council. And we're all partnering with our group here, the National Native American Hall of Fame. We're going to have a great gala, and let's visit about that a little bit there.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that, Chance. Like we mentioned earlier, there's so many ways that we promote the Hall of Fame, fundraise for the Hall of Fame, and just bring that attention and that awareness to who we are. And the next opportunity we have is a gala out at the Palms in Las Vegas, March 23rd. And that is in partnership with the Nahara Group as well as the TLC Group. And the fundraising will be split between the three organizations. And for
Hmm.
us, what that goes to is to everything involved in the exhibits that we have. We have a
Mhm.
permanent facility which we just acquired, and it lies in Oklahoma City. Yay! It's a
Mm.
beautiful mansion located on
It's
3.5 acres there. So there's a lot to that. We want to preserve these legacies in the right way, the best way. And that fundraising opportunity is going to help us fulfill that to make it a true welcoming space, not only for our inductees, but for our community. We welcome our community to visit us and use it as a place of gathering. So yeah, thank you, Chance, for joining us and being the MC of the night. I know you're going to bring your energy as you always do, and we look forward to it.
He
and
does
what
such a great job with it being MC at these events, doesn't he?
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, I
That's
appreciate
why
that. You know
he's
what?
so on demand, so high demand.
Yeah, well, what I do is I make sure Levi's there and he's on the front row because most of him is my material. So yeah,
I love
um,
Consider it done.
yeah.
Hey,
And how can
on a
we?
very serious note, Francis, first time I met you was actually we were boarding a plane coming back from the ceremonies for Ernie Stevens when he passed away late last September.
You want to talk a little bit about that award with his father, Ernie Stevens Sr.? I know that he had a really nice statue at the last gala. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, well, yeah, I that he was a mentor of our founder, James Parker Shield.
Wow.
And it's part of our efforts to build our collection on our inductees. We commissioned an artist, George Rivera, and he did a bust. So it prominently displayed at our facility right now is a beautiful bust of Ernie Stevens Sr. And it's well done, obviously, by a great artist and Indian country. He at our last gala, he did have a mock of the bust there for display. But another reason why we encourage everyone to visit us at the Hall of Fame to see these the exhibits and everything we have to highlight these achievements.
And
Yeah.
to piggyback up that, sorry, Levi.
No, go
How
ahead.
can how I mean, even though our Hall of Fame is in Oklahoma City, I guess the two-part question for this would be is how important is it for Oklahoma tribes to be involved with the museum? And then how can we reach this out into Indian country for when you come through Oklahoma City? We want you to come visit us at the Hall of Fame, and how can we attract non-natives?
Right. Well, to date, we have 59 inductees. And these 59 inductees do not only represent Oklahoma City, they
Hmm.
represent the nation. So Oklahoma City was selected only because it's central. We wanted a central location where it was easy to gather. It's not because Oklahoma's favored, although we love our tribes in Oklahoma and they support us. We are going to have a round dance coming up in Oklahoma, so locally, the local tribes can support us by just visiting, using our facility as a hosting place, host their meetings, host their events. And then also on a national level, induct somebody. We're always looking for nominees. We're always looking for individuals to add to our pools. And the question we get often is, what's the criteria? What's the criteria for being inducted into the Hall of Fame? And it's simple. They have to be Native American from a recognized tribe in the U.S. And they have to come with their achievements. What are their notable achievements? James mentioned earlier, it's not only the household names, it's those individuals who were, boots on the ground,
Hmm.
preserving their language, bringing recognition to their tribe, building their economic diversity. It can be a household name, but it can also be an unknown and allow us the opportunity to honor them, nominate somebody.
Hmm. Hmm. And, going back to add, my final question to you is it too late to get tickets for the gala? Again, it's taking place March 23rd out in Las Vegas, Nevada at the Palms, I believe in the Chaos Room. It's a great atmosphere, great energy, great speakers, awards presentations. How can we purchase tickets if they're still available?
Yeah, just visit us on our website and we'll direct you to the registration page. There is still availability. We are capping it at 260 attendees, and that's intentional. That's because we want, individuals who truly support the organizations, and we want to make it intimate for everybody. So
Mhm.
please visit us on our website.
Is that the same week as Res?
It sure is. You can also find details of our event on the official Res website under the agenda. On May 23rd, you can see more information there as well.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was at Naharo last year. Chance, you were there. I remember Mo Brings Plenty was there. And
Oh yeah, I had a brand new suit. I had
I
a brand new
remember
suit
that. It was
that I
really
brought
sharp.
out to
Yeah.
impress everybody, but yet it was some braids and a cowboy hat that stole the show. Real quick, Levi. I'm gonna get you at this at the gala, man. I'm gonna make
Okay.
sure you're there. I'm gonna make sure that our next Hall of Fame induction ceremony. I'm gonna make sure you're there.
I
We
really
definitely
look
need.
forward to that because
Yeah.
I
What?
love everything they stand for. We need great examples. Our youth need great examples. Even young tribal counselors need great examples of how to do
Yeah.
it. Yes.
Yeah. As a journalist and as an advocate, Levi, why would you say it's important for people to explore, get in, get educated on our Indian leaders who are inducted in Hall of Fame? Why would you say that as a journalist?
Well, I think it's so important, as I've kind of already mentioned, is that our young people need examples. And sometimes, let's just be real candid, life doesn't always look hopeful for our young people.
Mhm.
But boy, if they can see somebody say, if so and so did it, so can I, use that as an inspiration and say, because Billy Mills is one. We're friends with him, right? And he tells that story. He contemplated suicide at one point.
Mm.
And he looked out and something helped, and he remember what his father told him, and to go for that dream, and look where he is now. And what I love about Billy Mills, it wasn't just he won the in 1964 the gold, but what he has done decades later has raised literally millions of dollars for Native American youth to strengthen them through his organization. And to me, that's just the power of success. And what they say, success breeds success. And Francis, your group really helps highlight the success of
Yeah.
people. And for and Chance, let's just be blunt. There's still a lot of people out there, we call them the haters, right? Who still think that we're all backwards, we're drunks, and all that stuff. But I look around like, what are you talking about? I know some very highly successful, and success is a relative term. We know that, but we do
Mhm.
know some people are very self motivated, high achievers, and I love that James came up with the idea, and Francis, you're helping to carry that forward. That whole discussion of highlighting those who deserve to be in the National Native American Hall of Fame.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this guy, my boss, James, he can't be driving in a pickup truck out in the dark Oklahoma when he has a spotlight to be sharing with the whole world about who we are. It's going to be driving around in Dodge,
And
Oklahoma.
Chance, this has happened to us numerous times here in Native Bidaské. And I like to tell people, you should witness what is so real in Indian country, a lack of great internet, broadband. And so with James' experience of today, we're kind of in the recipient side of it, but it's reality. And so, hey, write your congressman, tell them we need broadband.
Yeah. Well, our future guest is going to be in Digitech, and they're going to help us out with that. And
That's great.
we're gonna bring good service, good coverage to Indian country. But listen, Francis, I know you got a full schedule today, and we want to thank you for joining us and being a part of us. And I'm looking forward to seeing you out there March 23rd at the Palms. in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. And James, wherever you're at, if you're feeding cows, buffaloes, hunting, I don't know what you got going on, but I know that
Just
these
catching
are
the
two
wind.
people. Yeah, these are two people that are very grounded and hardworking. I mean, they go all out and they invest a lot of time, and they don't look at the payment. They don't even look at what they get out of it. They look at what we get out of it as indigenous people, as indigenous leaders, and I think it's very important, and that's one reason why I signed on, to be the ambassador. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'll give 100%. And I'll never charge the National Native American Hall of Fame for anything that I do for them. So I see them as a great a highlight in my career. So, Francis, before we let you go, any final thoughts, any final plugs you want to say about the gala coming up, or the Hall of Fame, the building, whatever it may be?
I just want to thank you, Levi, for inviting us to share a little bit about the Hall of Fame, sharing it with the nation, sharing it with your audience. I also want to thank you, Chance, for stepping up and being the ambassador, the face, the voice of the Hall of Fame. Of course, to our founder, James Parker Shield, our board members, and all of our inductees for allowing us to represent and share their stories. I want to continue to uplift Indian country. And if that's through identifying those path makers, that's how we're going to do it. Thank you.
Mhm. All right. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you very much, Francis
Thank
Alvarez,
you.
ladies and gentlemen. If we could do that applause in the background, we'd be doing it. So we
Thank
appreciate
you.
you, Francis. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks, Chance.
Thank
Been
you.
great.
Yeah.
And to our viewers, Chi Miigwech for tuning in to another episode of Native Bidaské. Native News Online is celebrating its 15th year this month, February 14th, 2011. I established it many moons ago, as they say, but I am so proud of the readership, the viewership, of the energy of our staff at Native News Online, and you through your donations, the advertisers, those who've given us grants. We have survived 15 years, so it's been a blessing, and hopefully we are a blessing to you as well. So tune in next week for another episode of Native Bidaské. In the meantime, elders, take care of those young ones. Young ones, give those elders hugs, and we'll see you next week. Chi Miigwech.
The first thing I want them to feel and notice is that we are still here.
At the Detroit Institute of Arts, a new exhibition brings together more than 60 contemporary Anishinaabe artists from Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and beyond. Working across painting, sculpture, design, and traditional forms, these Native American artists show how Anishinaabe creativity continues to evolve, rooted in tradition and made for the present. This is a living culture, shaped by artists creating now in their own voices. This is more than an exhibition. It's a continuation, carried forward by artists, community, and generations of creative practice. Thank you for joining us. If you value our warrior journalism for Indian country, please consider supporting our work by scanning the QR code or visiting the link below. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on social media, and sign up for our free daily newsletter. Chi Miigwech.